Minnesota Vikings are 1-0. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be giving you guys my instant reaction to the Vikings beating the New York Giants with a final score of 28-6. And there's a ton of game balls to hand around today, as a lot of players from this roster really performed well. But we can start off with, Sam Darnold at 19-24, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns. Interception necessarily wasn't his fault. He got hit as he was thrown. But from what I've seen from Darnold, he was just on time, on target with majority of his throws. And he just didn't do anything where he put the Vikings offense behind the sticks, where he put the Vikings offense behind the 8-ball. He kept them in motion. He kept this offense performing at a high level, and he was fantastic. And then you guys see Aaron Jones, 14 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown. He looked great. I felt like on every single run, he was this close of bursting out and taking it to the house. Talk about Daniel Jones and dive into this Vikings defense as shout out to Van Ginkel. Shout out to Harrison Smith. Both of them got an interception, and that pick six that Van Ginkel had on Daniel Jones was absolutely nasty. But they kept the running game in check. Singletary only went for 10 carries, 37 yards. Then Malik Neighbors, 6 overall pick this past season, ended up getting 66 yards. But hey, if you guys are hyped about the Vikings going to 1-0 on the season, just let it rain down below in the comments section. Give me a skull down below as the Minnesota Vikings are 1-0 after a big-time victory versus the New York Giants, where they smacked them around the football field for all 4 quarters, and they won 28-6. But more stats from the game. Actually, third downs was actually an issue for the Vikings today, funny enough. Only 3 of 10 on third downs. Time of possession was in favor of the New York Giants, but that was just because at the end of the game, they had majority of the possession, so time of possession leaned towards them. But penalties were definitely a big issue for New York today. 9 penalties, 95 yards on those. But look at the total yards for the Giants. Only gave up 240 total yards for this defense. It was fantastic. But more on the Vikings offense here. I thought they were great. They were able to run the ball a little bit today, as the past 2 seasons for the Vikings, they average actually less than 100 yards on the ground per game. Today, they got up to 111. Did have 2 turnovers. Not really too concerned about that, but overall 6.1 yards per play, fantastic. And you see all these numbers right here. Kick it to the Giants side. The Vikings defense did a number, and my final score prediction for this game was 17-6. Vikings win. I didn't give enough credit to the offense. I thought this defense was going to be able to do a number on Daniel Jones and the Giants offense, and they did just that. Held them to 3.5 yards per play. Daniel Jones had a terrible outing. They were able to stop the run, force 2 turnovers. What a day by the Vikings defense. And let's kick it back to the offense here and talk about Sam Darnold. He was fantastic. And the argument we were making all offseason on why Sam Darnold could really excel with this Vikings offense is, he's never had a support system like this. He's never had a cast of weapons like Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, who also did leave the game due to an ankle injury. Once we get an update on that during the week, we'll have a video for you guys ASAP. So hit that subscribe button. Help us reach 30K here on the channel. It's actually just crossed over 29K, so shout out to you guys for that one. But Darnold, he was fantastic today. Just played within himself. Didn't try to do too much. Just played within the offense, and I thought he was fantastic. Now, he did find Justin Jefferson a couple times. Not the dominant game that we all were anticipating from Jettas, but 4 receptions, 59 yards, had that touchdown, which was huge. It was on a 4th and goal. He was one-on-one with Deonte Banks, just beat him to the inside. Tightly contested play by Banks, but Darnold put it right in there. Jefferson with the sure hands was able to, catch that football and score. And then also Jordan Addison, on that one drive where the Vikings went 99 yards, he found Addison a couple times on a couple corner routes, and he was great. Like, Addison really lived up to who we thought he was going to be. I know the stats aren't going to blow you away, but I thought he was fantastic in certain spots for the Vikings today, and I will give credit to Aaron Jones. This dude ran hard. This dude ran ferocious. He was fantastic, man. I really see the juice with him. I think he's going to fix this Vikings running game. He was awesome. He was making dudes miss in the backfield. He was just having a hell of a day, and every single run, I said it at the top of today's show, I felt like he was about to break one. I felt like he was about to house it. I'm calling you against 49, or I'm calling it right now against 49ers. This dude will have a 50-plus yard rushing touchdown. But Jalen Naylor found the end zone today. It was a sick play call by Kevin O'Connell, who also shot at him. He was fantastic today. But it was orbit motion. Jefferson went behind Sam Darnold. Inside zone, pump fake to the screen. Jalen Naylor up the sideline, dropped it right in the breadbasket, and he went and made a play. Shout out to Naylor. For sure, wide receiver 3 on this team. Might have to play some wide receiver 2 next week versus the Niners if Addison isn't able to go. But there were a ton of guys that impressed me, but you guys let me know. Who impressed you the most versus the Giants today? If I had to pick my game ball, I want to give it to Darnold, but I got to give it to Andrew Van Ginkel, man. 4 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, interception, a sack, and a touchdown. Van Ginkel gets a game ball for me. But you guys let me know who impressed you the most versus the Giants. Now, we'll talk about the Vikings defense a little more in depth here in a second. But first off, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys download the Prize Picks app and use promo code CLNS, we'll hook you guys up with $50 instantly when you just need to play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. Now, Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Now, Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Now, I had a lineup today, and actually, Justin Jefferson let me down. I hit the Caleb Williams deal where they only had his line set at half a passing yards. I took the more on that. Then I took the more on Aaron Jones finding the end zone, and he did just that to have the first touchdown of the Vikings season. But hey, if you guys want to fade my picks or ride with my picks throughout the NFL season, just use Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Now, my second biggest key to victory today was have Daniel Jones seeing ghosts. And Brian Flores did just that. This man was in a blender all afternoon. He had 2 interceptions, was 22 of 42. Brian Flores did his thing. And, I think this Vikings defense, I guarantee you the reaction after the game will be this. Daniel Jones stinks. The Giants offense stinks. They're not going to give any love or any credit to what the Vikings defense did today. But they held the Giants to 6 points. I predicted they would do just that. My score prediction was 17-6. Vikings won 28-6. I think this defense is legit. The free agency additions this offseason were fantastic. Of Grenard, who also had a hell of a game. I don't think he had a sack. I want to check if he had any QB hits. He had 1 quarterback hit, but I thought he was getting pressure all game long. Harrison Phillips also had a sack as well and a quarterback hit. He looked great. Also, shout out to Harrison Smith, man. That interception was awesome in the end zone, picking off Daniel Jones. The old strong safety 2-2, still getting it done. It's just stuff you love to see there. But Vikings were able to take away the run game pretty easily today. Devin Singletary only went for 10 carries, 37 yards. And in total, the Giants were 21 carries, 74 yards, 3.5 yards a tote. Just great stuff by the Vikings. Linebackers, the defensive line, they all played their ass off today. And my biggest concern heading in today was what was Malik Neighbors going to do? Because he is the one player on this Giants roster where he's got that top-end speed. He can, game break a game where he can take a 5-yard slant. He can turn it up and take it to the house. Vikings kept him relatively in check. 5 receptions, 66 yards. You'll take that any day of the week. Other guys, Wandell, 6 receptions, 44 yards. And that's about it from the Giants passing front. As overall, the Vikings offense, the Vikings defense, they're clicking on all cylinders. And it was just a great, great win for our Minnesota Vikings. But if I had to give game balls, I'm going to Andrew Van Ginkel. Next up, I'm probably going Sam Darnold. But, overall, just a great team victory. And give credit to the Vikings coaching staff today. This was not a game where the Vikings had overwhelming talent, where they were no doubt the more talented football team. They were slightly, but I thought this was a difference of the coaching staffs and the quarterback position. Shout out to Darnold. Shout out to Kevin O'Connell. Shout out to Brian Flores. All got it done today. But hey, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, give me a skull down below in the comment section. Vikings are 1-0. And I just can't wait for next week versus the San Francisco 49ers. But hey, if you guys also want to give me a follow on Twitter, I tweeted out a bunch of plays from today's game. The handle is right there, @PatSieps. If you guys give me a follow over there, I'll give you a follow back. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.